Hello, Namaste. Good morning from Sunil Kumar Pariyar from Gunaso Katwal program. Gunaso Katwal program is the unique program that it's very in startup phase in Nepal. We especially provide the information about the climate change mitigation, climate change adaptation, climate change vulnerable disasters information precaution to the community such as landslide, forest fire, earthquake, etc., flood, etc., to make the precaution to the community by providing the message, and also we give the message to the community by giving the information if someone is going to donate to give the relief to the relevant community if the donor is going to support for them. Also, we give the knowledge about the climate change, natural resource, natural disasters, and many more information. Today, I'm going to provide you about the information that is written by Mr. Bola Bhattrai from National Forum for Advocacy Nepal about community-based forest management in Nepal, a model for rights-based climate change adaptation approaches. Let's start. Nepal has focused its attention on mitigating and adapting to the impacts of climate change, which includes the development of forest management systems. Policies emphasize support for community-based forest management to enhance carbon sequestration, sustainably manage forests, and reduce carbon emission from forest areas. This is not new, as forestry stakeholders have been practicing community-based forest management for the last 35 years in Nepal. The national forest has been handed over to communities for protection, management, and utilization. Community-based forest management is one of the success stories in forest management in the country, and there are around 30,000 forest management groups managing 30% of the country's national forest. Evidence suggests that one of the many benefits to these approaches is the substantial potential for carbon sequestration. Recent studies show that community forest management results in consistent increases in forest carbon stock levels ranging from 1 to 3 tons per hectare per year, depending on local circumstances and the awareness level of forest users. Carbon sequestration rates could be even higher, given that soil carbon changes have not been yet studied. Extrapolating these figures, forests managed by communities in Nepal could be drawing as much 16 million tons of CO2 from the atmosphere every year, roughly equivalent to half of Nepal's annual carbon dioxide CO2 emissions. On top of this, data shows that the total forested area in Nepal expanded from 39% in 1994 to 45% in 2015, a 6% increase. Likewise, forest diversity is also increasing under community-based forest management as its access and control of forested land by local and indigenous peoples. The management of Nepal intends to maintain forest cover in order to reduce the impacts of climate change, conserve biodiversity, and support the livelihoods of the local peoples. There are 5 main community-based forest management regimes in Nepal: community forest, leisure forest, collaborative forest, religious forest, and conservation forest. Overall, community forest is the main form of forest management. Leisure forest aims to support poor and marginalized communities by handing over forest land for their use to support livelihoods and generate income. The religious forest is managed for religious purposes by various religious organizations. Collaborative forest is another regime practiced in the southern part of Nepal and aims to address the access of traditional users living far from forested areas. Finally, conservation forest, which is designated as national forest, is managed to conserve and protect forests which are important for culture, tradition, and scientific reasons. Community-based forest management groups are responsible for governance at the local level, which includes preparing and implementing forest management plans. Through careful planning, forest user groups are effectively protecting biodiversity as well as practicing grassroots democracy through the meetings and activities that they facilitate. Community members work together on planning, thinning, pruning, harvesting, utilizing, and protecting their forest. The IPCC's special report on 1.5 degrees Celsius highlighted various different climate mitigation pathways, but it did not adequately recognize the efforts made by communities such as those in Nepal that contribute to forest conservation and restoration, while also safeguarding the livelihoods of the local people and conserving traditional and local knowledge. CBFM sequesters carbon and conserves biodiversity whilst also enhancing the lives of poor, marginalized communities and women by ensuring their access to and control over their forest. This is in stark contrast to the main methods proposed by policymakers for removing carbon from atmosphere, which are much more likely to harm forests and cause conflicts with communities. It is the time that UNFCCC, the IPCC, and member states understood this contrast and recognized the vital contributions that local communities and indigenous peoples make towards protecting forest and climate. Community conservation in Nepal. CCRI assessments were conducted in 3 regions in Nepal with community forests in these areas covering about 12,000 hectares managed by 250 legally recognized community forest user groups. The user groups have played a critical role in conserving the biodiversity and ecosystem in these areas. The community forest user groups' right to right of tenure over the forest lands and resources are recognized by the First Act 1993 and Forest Regulation 1995 in the form of community forest. Some of the indigenous peoples and local communities IPLC's customary practices relating to forest resources have been integrated into the formally approved forest management plans of community forest, but in practice, indigenous people are struggling to have their informal practices and other customary rights related to forest use, such as collecting non-timber forest products, shifting cultivation, and grazing, recognized in the forestry legislation and forest management plans. The forest groups have made significant contributions on reducing deforestation and forest degradation through natural regeneration processes that promote ecosystem regeneration and are resulting in an increase in wildlife species in Nepal. However, local communities have been negatively impacted by the expansion of protected forest areas by central government in different parts of Nepal, including into areas that community assessments took place. The Barandabar and Basant corridors were declared as protected forest in 2012, despite strong protest from local communities against this centralized decision from the government, which prioritized the protection of the forest over securing communities' tenure rights over them. The more protection-oriented provisions in the forest management plans for the community forests in these particular areas mean that the local communities are unable to exercise their rights even though they are legally held. Thank you very much. Please give your comment in the comment box if you have any doubt regarding the information, and if you also want to listen this kind of information in coming days, please subscribe of us and press the bell button. Thank you very much.